So, hello everybody on whatever that platform is. I upload videos sometimes. This is Feedback Friday. Which Feedback Friday is it? I don't know. Maybe it's in the title. I was probably just guessing when I wrote it. If you've not seen one of these streams before, or if you've not seen one of these videos before, if you've not seen this particular audiovisual experience before, what it is I'm doing a live stream to these people down here where I take games made by them and we play them and try and offer some kind of intelligent feedback, try and give some useful criticism, anything I think that might, just from my varied lenses and experiences as a game developer, help them in their own particular game development journey. We've got 8 games lined up to play today, and the first game is Polygon Defends, from someone whose name I've already forgotten, Kellen CEO, as that person, and it is requesting that we enter a username. I've no idea what this game is or what it involves, but I'm gonna enter the username SeanJS. I don't really know what that did. Very faintly in the top corner, I can see press Z to see FPS. There's my FPS, very big. I like it. And we've got a bit of a hard to read title off the bat here, but like it isn't framed terribly. And the tutorial button is sparkling, so I guess it wants me to do that first. To purchase a tower, left click and drag it from the upper left corner of the screen and to an unoccupied wall. Okay, let's grab a basic tower. This appears to be an unoccupied wall. Each time you purchase a tower, its price increases by 40%. Oh, what, is in to get another one? That's a big increase, okay. Right click and purchase tower to open its upgrade and targeting menu. Okay. Okay. Right click, bottom row equal upgrade menu, top row equal targeting menu. Oh, okay. You can kind of change how it prioritizes targets. That's kind of neat. Oh, we can unmute it now as well. Now I've done my intro. It had some hot rock music on the menu, which we'll probably get back to in a second. Upgrade menu. Assign exactly 1 upgrade per tower. Free. Oh, it doesn't cost anything? You just pick like it's like just a specialization? Can you like change it? No, it's just once you've done that, it's like there, right? Use at any time. So you commit to those upgrades. Most enemies have a shield. I kind of dig how basic some of the art is. It's not very consistent, which we'll get into in a bit, but yeah. Most enemies have a shield. Each enemy shield protects from a certain amount of hits. I like that this is happening in an environment where I can just try these things and see them work. It's all a bit messy and like there's stuff everywhere and it doesn't look very pretty. But the functionality of this tutorial is kind of cool. Each shield protects a certain amount of hits. Amount of damage or amount of hits? Like, is that actually... Oh yeah, it is amount of hits. That language was chosen specifically. Pentagon, hexagon, octagon. Okay. If the shape have many side, it be boss. Differences from normal enemies. While unshielded bosses move at double speed. While unshielded, okay. Their shields can only regenerate if they've been completely depleted. Once depleted, their shield regenerates instantly after 2 seconds. God, that rapid was not kidding, right? These are a lot of little complications. Finish the path, you lose lives equal to their number of sides, except here in the tutorial. When you destroy an enemy, you receive coins. Use coins to buy more towers. You know, this is a big info dump in the tutorial, but, like, it's actually alright, because it's laid out fairly logically, 1 point at a time. It's a little unclear about what it all means, but I guess it's leaving you to work that out, right? It's just giving you all the rules of the game world, and it's up to you to work out how to do that well. And it's just showing you all the things, the relevant things happening on the screen, even in an environment where you were able to actually just sort of sandbox and play around and be like, oh, how does that work? Oh, okay, that's how that works. It's cool. And if I've got this game, I probably like tower defenses or whatever anyway, right? So it's good. And destroy an enemy, receive coins, use coins to buy more towers, right? Okay. Hang on, did I miss something else there? I probably didn't need to fade in like this, but... Spacebar is pause. Ooh. GMscoreboard.com polygon defense, interesting. My username is not default username. It was SeanJS. I'll have you know. Good sir. The audio might be a little quiet. I'll turn it up a little bit. Hit the load button. Oh. Seems to matter. User did not exist. Create a new user. Anyway, what's RFD? It's crossed out. Music is apparently cancer. Oh, right. I read that as something different, but that's okay. How do I play the game? 1 does do anything. 2, 3, 4, 5. Rufter. Load save. Tutorial. Scores. How does one play? Any am I missing something? Am I an idiot? Do the first page of the tutorial again. Oh, did I actually have to do this to progress it? Wait, what? It's coming up here when I... Okay, let's start it again. Let's try this. Let's try this from the ground up. These things happen. But I get that you want people to do the tutorial, but maybe just have a button that's like starts the game as well. Rather than make them like go through the tutorial to start it. I know it's like, well, that way it guarantees they go through the tutorial, right? If you want to do it like that, instead just have a start game and then send you to the tutorial, so it's like a bit more intuitive. What was it called? Polygon defense. Oh, that was the installer. It's installed, right? I forgot. Okay, trying to answer that tutorial. How do I don't understand. Did I just have to kill some things? Do I have to do all of this? Ah, okay, we have to do some things, okay. I wasn't clear what, like, I didn't even realize that at the time because I was just experimenting. I didn't realize you had to do something on that page to do anything. Go back to the main menu. Okay, now 1, 2, and 3 are available. Okay, so yeah, you want to obviously work on the flow of that. You can't have it so that you need to be there to tell people, yeah, you have to clear page 1 of the tutorial and then it'll unlock the thing, right? But yeah, I'd recommend just a new game button or whatever. If they've never done the tutorial before, autoplay the tutorial. And then you can have like a would you like to replay the tutorial thing come up when you click new game from that point onwards. Or even have that just be a choice when you click new game. You know, there's other ways, better flows than this, basically that's what I'm saying. Okay. I have 500 coins. Let's think about where a good... This looks good. That's spiral. Enemies near explosion. So it's like AoE and long range. 80 damage over 1 second. Well, that's, well, 80 damage a second, right? 30, that's like 90 DPS. That's like 100 DPS. That's good DPS. Oh man, maybe we should have put that one there. Whatever, we're experimenting. Oh yeah, you get free like upgrades. Oh, it pauses when you do this. Cute. Kind of reduces the APM, but I guess it's more of a thinky thing. How hit moves slower. Yeah, we'll do the slowy one. Target first. Yeah, whichever one's closest to the front, slow things down, stack them up. We'll just give this a damage increase. I think they can both aim at first for now. What does the little red cross in the corner mean? Shield buster on this boy. Oh, then we have to hit that every time. Okay. The graphics are awesome. That's pretty much the one thing I'm not thinking is awesome. I'm digging the amount of depth though. Or theoretical depth. These just, yeah, this is where we spend money, right? We don't spend it on upgrades or anything like that. I kind of like how that's simplified. Get them nice and stacked. Basically, I just want to like... It's weird because of the wide space to like know exactly how things are going to move through here. I guess this is what's being shown by this though. So I guess really the main consequence is it makes the level design just look a little messy. You want it to look thought out. You know, maybe it is. But just bits like these corners and like this wider space here being like 4 wide with these 2 feels a little bit like it was just sort of convenient for like where this menu needed to go and stuff, and you just sort of drew some rough spirals, which yeah, you have created some interesting like decision making and stuff like that. It's not like bad design, it's just looks a little unclean. Ooh. One damage per hit, 60 hits a sec. Okay. Oh, but that'll annihilate shields though, right? Hmm. Yeah, no, I do just kind of really like tower defense games. That's that's straight up. Oh, look at that though. The AoE damage paying off in full there. And spades. Yeah, I can sit, like, it's dangerous because I could just sit and play this forever, and this is the first game. We've got like 7 more to play. We need a stack. We need to warn me in future, I guess. I need to stack tower defense games at the back. These are the bosses, yeah? It's a shame as well because I feel like I kind of need to rinse a tower defense to get, like, a handle for it. Like, in terms of actually really critiquing how I feel about it. But since we're not going to get to do that, we'll talk about a bit more just about my sort of surface level reactions and a few things that we can glean and understand right away. First of all, though, this guy needs to get dead. Damage boost this. Get wrecked. Anyway, there's a lot to think about, which is good. That's what you want. That's the key thing with the tower defense, is that you need to give the player things to think about. I know they're like generally relaxing games because they just sort of like they're fairly passive, low APM games usually. Although you can make high APM tower defense. What I mean by that is actions per minute for those who maybe don't play RTS. Which is kind of where these games sort of, well, or a lot of them came from. And it's why people often played them in RTS as a break from the RTS, because they're low APM, low actions per minute. You know, a lot of things to think about, but you can just take your time with the clicks and stuff like that. And this is very clearly designed quite well as a low APM tower defense game, because things pause for you. Does it pause when you're buying a turret as well? It does. See, that's really cool. Like, just to have thought about, to actually have buried that into everything and keep that as a consistent theme. I like that a lot. That's really cool. I like the upgrades. I like that everything is free other than the turrets, so it just, like, you're not burying that cash judgment into everything. It's just into which turrets you actually get. Well, a simple decision, like, it's well thought through, I think. Whether it pays off in terms of its balancing and long-term play and so on and so forth, it's like we can't know that without actually playing it. That's the sort of feedback we don't have time for. Because you need to rinse something like this to get an idea for it, really. You can get some inklings with early play, but like, this feels like an escalation. Holy crap. Can I even, like... Like, there's a lot of potential there for just coming up with creative, like, just like that little thing off the bat of me just being like, oh, let's make this one do slows, this one do AoEs, and we'll increase this one's damage and so on, and just like being able to put those just like freely, like on a thing as well. They're not like gated behind money or anything like that. It's just like, oh, let's just pick an upgrade. You just a lot of different styles to immediately choose from and play around with cool strategies right away. It's quite cool. I don't know how scalable it is, because that's the question with all tower defense stuff, is like, does it scale? Does you keep building more and more and more? But on the surface, this intro level game at least is very good. It remains to be seen if it has longevity, but it's good. The aesthetic is a total mess, but I think you'll probably know that. Like, I don't know. But it's a lot of like very default looking fonts here. Like there's one HD-ish texture here that looks quite nice, but looks completely wrong and out of place next to all the other like MS Paint art. What you could have done, you could still, with this limited skill set, make this look quite cool if you pick a style that suits this, but the style you want to do is a bit, presumably a bit beyond your abilities at the moment, unless this is all just placeholder and like, I don't know, you're planning to completely upheave this with later art, which is a great way to do it, by the way. Like prototyping all this with just this artwork and just focusing on the fundamentals of the game is a good idea. This, as I said, this level is a bit like, honestly, I like the idea of like, let's build it around some big, fun, satisfying spirals. It's easy and fun to find where the valuable places are. You can just place them, and be like, place them on a big spiral and so on. It'd be nice if they were just a bit more elegant though. Like, as I say, just like cleaning up some of these areas a bit, like, so you don't need all these like random extra corners and stuff that are just, they don't, you know what I mean, right? Some of those are like, I like these gaps are kind of interesting because it dictates where you can put towers and stuff. Like you can't put them exactly in the middle, so you got to lean one way or the other. But it's all about creating these weird Venn diagrams of destruction, right? Let me appreciate level 2 more. Yeah, you said. Let's just look. Okay, that's very different. Well, that's very cool as well. I'm glad I looked now. Where the hell do they go? They have to go like around here several times and then out. That's interesting. That's very cool. I don't really know what it means because I haven't even really worked that out of like just play this as a basic level really yet. Well, that's not going to hit anything there, is it? The middle is terrible for short range. Yeah, put some cool art in this, and I think you're onto something very cool. Bad defenses are great. A lot of work to do there, but I assume you know that because you've just done the absolute bare minimum for everything. Maybe get a UX designer or something, look at this menu. But if you've got more to do or whatever, don't put more than 2 seconds into any of this art and stuff. Like this, you didn't need to bother doing the 3D weird effect on this text that looks. This text looks really bad, right? Everything in the game looks really, really bad. So you may as well just not put any time into it, right? Just slap whatever. You may as well not even have a title here. Just blank space would have been better. But if you make this look pretty, I think it's off to a very cool start. What's the other? Well, this isn't quite as exciting as the first one, or as the second one even. And again, just feels a little bit slapped together. The other one had like a nice elegance about its like pattern and layout and was much better. This is it's kind of interesting that you can't put anything there and so on, but there's like 2 waves. I think they're good I think you've got a lot of interesting level design ideas. I think they just need, I just think they need cleaning up into a kind of elegance that will just make it, it's almost an aesthetic consideration in the level design that I'm after, I think, here. It's like, well, how far away should this be from this? I don't know, about 4 blocks is kind of what it looks like. Even if, I don't know, there's a chance it's been really thought out. One thing that worries me is you've got like online scoreboard. That's nonsense. I wouldn't waste too much time on this kind of thing at the moment. I don't know. Credits. Oh, I said music. Okay. was gonna say, there's no way. No, yeah, like I say, like complete overhaul on it aesthetically. Um, but other than that, and on the assumption that you're intentionally keeping, like, intentionally have just left all the artwork totally placeholder so you could just focus on everything else, assuming that that's what you're doing, you're off to a really great start with that, I think. I like it, and I could sit, play it for a while, and try and work it all out, and so on. You gotta be really careful with pacing, though. It did feel like it was starting to escalate super quick. Um, but we don't really have time to dive into a critique of that kind of level. I hope that was in some way useful. Next up. See, I tried to behave. We didn't spend too much time on it. Let There Be Blood from Omar Almighty, top-down shooter. Have I played this before? I feel like I might have, unsure. How long did that one take? Like half an hour or something? I don't know. Oh, they done Pokemon Presents? What was what was announced? Also, where are my extracted files at? There we go. Diamond and Pearl remake. Something everybody was saying they would be really sad if they didn't make an open world Breath of the what? Hold up. Hold up, that sounds exciting. Sorry, Let There Be Blood. We gotta look up some Pokemon nonsense. Open world Breath of the Wild Pokemon thing? That sounds dope. On description alone. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that remake actually looks super pretty. Wasn't that fussed for it, but it actually looks quite cool. I don't know, I'm gonna have to look up all that later. But that's exciting. Also, this title screen's exciting. Can we full screen this? We can. Whose game is this? This game is from Omar Almighty. Is he in the chat? I don't see him in the chat, but hopefully he's it. He, she, whatever. Resolution is just a blank space. Fair enough. Particles on. HUD toggle on. Okay. Yeah, this is very cool. It's very pretty. You know what I'm gonna say? I think it kind of works. We'll let it off for now. But like, it's so different. Like, so much smaller, these pixels, than these. It does really stand out. Same goes for the kind of borders around the buttons and so on. I feel like a broken record talking about this stuff, but it does matter. It does matter. Does affect the way you kind of perceive it. Yeah, like I think this would be a simple enough fix for that you could it would make the effect look way prettier. And it's a cool idea and a cool effect, and it does look good. But I think if you like, yeah, draw it to a surface and make that surface like a, yeah, that. Roulog. Very slow fade. Dramatic. Wants to move. This is a bit. The flash makes it hard to see where the edges quite are because the internal earth is black. Big punch. There's an uncomfortable stretch on those, but looks alright. Middle mouse to kick open door. Nice. Okay. Some Hotline Miami kind of vibes. I need to turn down my speakers. This game is kind of loud. Okay, pick up and throw. It's making like a gun noise. That made like a kick, but it seems to just be like a baseball bat. Drunk. Oh, I just guessed I had to do that, but that was actually the tutorial. Fair enough. Oh. And you pointed and laughed at me as well. I just killed your friend. You wouldn't point and laugh at the guy like you immediately killed your friend. The animation's a bit slow, weird. Like he just kind of casually lifts the foot up and then. Alright, let's not throw at this guy. We'll throw. Oh. Just let me pick this back up. Thank you. You already saw what I did to your friend. I don't know, maybe they weren't friends. Wee! I'm gonna just... Oh. Wee! Oh, I thought I had... Did I lose my bat? Bullet time. I was like, yeah, it's always tricky with like slow executions and stuff, but I never know, like, is this gonna make me invincible? A lot of games do. And just bullet time. What's the... I keep losing the button for picking things up, but it's just the same as the right. Oh, he just gets up and is like, what was I doing? I feel like there's something I'm forgetting. It is hard to read the lasers, yeah. They're a bit hard to see. But it's helped by the fact that there's not much else going on. Ooh. I like the lighting. The lighting on him there is cool. Oh, I'm running out of bullets. Go where? Oh, just hang around there for long enough. They're taking you out now. Oh. Did I just skip something? Was there more to that? So by prologue, you mean tutorial, but wow. Come on in. Boss needs you to smoke a house full of cholo. What? I hope that's not some sort of racial slur. I'll just make sure you burn it after you see it. You get your check when you get back. Who am I talking to? Is there gonna be someone there? No, it's just a chair. Was there a note on the table? It still says E here, but E doesn't do anything anymore. We can break chairs. Wait, I can't. Is that a rug underneath or is it a person? I can never really tell with these top-down perspectives. I think it's just a rug though. I don't know. The table has like a. See how it has like this top line here of dark, like this color on the top? Makes it look like it's like tilted. The perspective feels super off, is what I'm trying to get at. I always find it kind of hard to read like actually top-down games. Doesn't it say there was a dossier or something I was meant to read? Thanks, Rio. Never mind. Suppressed? There's a lot of choice to be dumping on me. I don't know anything about these guns. Oh, that one's got a 2-word description. The only equipment you need is between your legs. Oh, a bulletproof vest. That's for assholes. Pick up ammunition from guns. Run faster. Yeah, I'll have things. I'm afraid I know things. Wow, why am I now like I'm in constant bullet time or something? Are we just killing everyone? Is that the deal here? I haven't played Hotline Miami, you know, but I'm aware it is something like this. Yeah. We didn't bring nearly enough ammunition for this mission. Hello. Oh, I got it! Would be out of bullets at that exact moment. Oh. Oh. It's kind of cute. Does that have any, like, meaningful gameplay? Oh, I thought this yellow stuff was like wall, and it's not. It's just like weirdly bright separation floor. I feel like the pixel size, that's something you would not see. That could be a problem with pixel art, is like you're trying to represent detail that the pixels just do not actually support. What you do is you just don't put that detail in because the pixel size doesn't fit it. But it's tricky to get used to. Can I just throw this at him? Oh yeah, apparently I can, but that kind of weird range. Oh, this has no bullets, don't make the same mistake. Bang! Oh, bang twice. There's a brain everywhere? Bit unpretty. I would totally have lost that encounter, right? Me opening the door, he has way more time to react than I do. No way I won that fight. Uh-oh. All calculated. All calculated. I like the lighting effects in this a lot. Oh, he's wearing like a mask. Oh, and it's crashed. I think I get the idea here though. It's like a bit of a messy introduction with the pro, like it's a decent tutorial, like just showing you one thing at a time. What am I trying to say? Let me think about this. Let me assemble the words in my word maker. It's hard to put my finger on this one. Let me load this back up. So there's a lot that's really good here. I'll start with that. This title screen honestly looks better than everything else in the game. Like everything else. Like the limited color palette, the style of it, like it's super nice. This. The game itself doesn't look as good. Let's jump into chapter 3 then. I'm not sure I'm doing what the slow dramatic fade in on the things about. A lot of stuff to go through here. I kind of like it, and like it's a lot to dump you with right away. But when you actually play the game for a second, it does become clear that these are all just subtly different and are mostly just the same, right? And it's just fun variety. Is this just like make it easier stuff? But like, does it have any like meaningful effect, or is it just like these are here to make it a bit easier and they just don't have icons yet or whatever? The bullet effects are really nice and the particles and stuff like that are good. But the lighting is too, like, you've got like HD lighting on pixel art, which just never looks good. Never looks good because it gives the game away. It gives the, like, it ruins that illusion, you know, of like, ideally, what like pixel art is like in a way doing is like tricking you into thinking that it's just like a really low resolution camera or something, right? That you're getting the visuals of the game through, right? It's a bit more complex. It's a bit of an oversimplification, but it's kind of the idea, right? It's creating this illusion, and the way that illusion works is by, this is why Mixels hurt the look of the scene. This is why they don't look good, is because they shatter that illusion. They show that, like, oh, no, that's just how it looks. They're just made out of big blocks of color all of a sudden, and then it just looks like unbelievable and weird because like things aren't made out of big blocky pixels. It's fine when everything looks that way because it just feels like that's the lens through which you are seeing the world. But when you've got a mix of stuff in it, suddenly it's just like, well, these are just shapes that don't make sense. And it starts to look like things don't match or don't belong, and it becomes clear that it's a video game and probably like looks poorly assembled. Oh, it's like a searchlight, I see. But that could be matched up to the pixel size, you know? We've got a lot of off-resolution problems. I think it's one of the bigger issues with it. I'm actually kind of like, the gameplay's alright. It's like simple AI stuff or whatever, but like some of the animations are better than others, and that's a big problem actually. Because you raise the bar really high with the stuff that looks so good that it really makes it stand out the things that don't look as good as it. So you sometimes have to be careful of making like that one animation that just looks way better than everything else, because it makes your other stuff not as good all of a sudden. Whereas your other stuff might have been fine up until that point. It's a weird criticism of just like, don't make the animations too good. But there's something in it. Does everyone wear these blue outfits? Like, the idea you're going for with the lighting and stuff here is great. But it's just like, and it's too, well, the other thing with the lighting is it's just too obvious. The point lights, like, they don't like naturally fill the scenes. They're just like, you can see each like, I can tell where each like light bulb icon has been placed in the scene editor or whatever, right? Like, I don't mind too much the rotating, because that's a fundamental part of the gameplay, right? You need to be able to rotate around, and like, it would probably look a lot worse if you didn't use the pixels at this resolution, but you can still make everything else match. Actually, I don't know, you might get away with that if you kept everything at resolution. Don't know what Hotline Miami does, can't remember. Actually, probably looks a bit like this. It's one of the things I remember looking at Hotline Miami is like, oh, it looks fun, but it doesn't look very good. It's like pretty. Thoughts on the gore? I hadn't really thought too much about it. Like, it's obviously like what the game is going for, and it's like a thing, and that's not really my taste, but it's fine, you know. And reasonably well executed, I guess. It does stand out when some things like are just like how like pristine clean this table is in regards to that stuff, you know? If you're going all out with that stuff, go all out with it, right? Where do I even go now? Have we done this? It's also standing out the, like, is it 32 by 32 wall size? I think maybe it's just because that's a bit thick or whatever. You can see like the walls, like the corners like that. Yeah, just... Oh, you can show, that's kind of cool. They just sort of disappear, but oh, where do I go? Let's follow the giant flashing arrow that says go on it, maybe, Sean. That might take you where you need to go. Who might have thought of that? It's weird that it's at the start. But yeah, my B. Oh, I only 2. But it's a cool game loop. I mean, it's not obviously very original. It's what Hotline Miami does, right? It's just like a frantic array of bah, 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 everything dies, and then you've got to like, so you've got to stop and think and be like, okay, I'm going to do this, 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 and you actually have to formulate a little plan, then execute on it, and it can be very thrilling to like go and like and do it all at once. Really good game along this sort of weird pseudo genre is Tom Francis's thing, the space thing game. What's it called? I can't remember what it's called. It's something Heat Signature. Heat Signature. Yeah, it's a great game. Of this sort of style, not in the like the gore knock down doors, blood, kill, murder sort of way, but in the gameplay sort of way of just like so that's a good place to look for inspiration on how to like, I don't know, mix up the mechanics of it maybe and make things more than just use gun on man before man use gun on you. There's not a whole lot of depth there, but there is some tone. It's fun. Um, it's a neat little thing. I think you do want to. I think I'd argue my biggest criticism of it is that other than let's say the art stuff is like you didn't really bring much of yourself to it in a way. It felt like it felt like it was a bit like Hotline Miami light in a way. Like I didn't really see anything that's I don't know. It didn't. It's really a hard one to word. This is the same criticism I gave to Allison Checkerdink, their games, but from a slightly different in a slightly different context. That uh it feels like you've taken the tone of a pre-existing game and kind of run with it. I mean, maybe that's not your intention. I can't say for sure that that's your intention with it or anything like that. Um, which isn't even like necessarily even a bad thing. But I feel it will, if you keep doing it that way, it's probably it will stifle your ability to bring things to it that would make me want to play this instead of Hotline Miami, you know? Um, or the next thing like it. But it's impressive. I think I think it's reasonably well executed. And there's a lot of really nice little bits of polish and flair and like the bullet shooting stuff like that. Like the bullet effects looked really nice. Felt punchy and cool. I like that it was just filled with a massive pile of like very similar and therefore easily kind of coded weapons, but they were all just like a bunch of different things. And like, so you kept finding them in a level and be like, okay, I'm done with that gun. Let's grab this cool thing. Bang, bang, bang. So you're constantly experiencing variety in that way. That was really fun. Um, it's a tough one, that. It's a tough one because I can't just be like, you should do this and it would be better. It's just like, but it's good. Um, God, that was a mess of. I hope that feedback was in any way useful. That felt like a mess to me. I hope I got some kind of interesting points across. One is still subscribed with Prime. They subscribed to us. Thank you very much. Thanks for doing these. Thank you for watching them. I hope they are useful. Next up, we got Pixel. No, we got Duck Boy from Pixel_Trash. I've played this before. Use a controller. Full screen F game starts. Okay. I have played this before, I think. What did I say about it? You should this should be like a new thing. When you submit a game that I've played before, remind me what I said about it. So I can like evaluate what's changed and like we can talk about whether I was an idiot in the first place or you know what. We can I think my fear is like I make like this really big criticism of a game or something, they go away, change that thing, focus really hard on it, bring it back, and then I like massively criticize the change, forgetting that I'm the one who suggested or said that that's where the weakness was. Single greatest game I had ever played, but it could do with more ducks and less pixels, fair enough. Let's start. Oh, were we not meant to full screen it there? Down my speaker. Games are so loud today. Use a controller. Take out 360 pad. Blow off the dust. After game starts. Okay, let's just hit new game, see what happens. So we go from here to full screen or something. Okay. Hey, awesome. So I can't remember what I said about this before, so let's just go from scratch. Something weird about this scene and the sort of perspective of the artwork, and like it curves around, but then on the front is like very flat. Let's just not think about that too hard and let's just jump down here. Fade to teal? Now I'm somewhere with a very different color palette. And smoke, but it's at resolution smoke. Impress. Oh no, it's like, it's bigger. Is it? I can't actually tell. What's going on? Yeah, it's off resolution. It doesn't matter. It looks alright. Something about the white outline on the character, or what? It just makes it feel a little out of place. Saving. Okay. I don't remember any of this. Looked a lot different. These are great though. I love these. I probably mentioned this before. I don't even know. Like I tend to mention it a lot. That's just showing the pattern of face buttons. I'm about that. So that's like a minimal jump height, and that's like the maximum. Subtle difference, but I like that it's like almost like just 2 jumps you can do, and there's actually not. Okay, how do I look at these again? Nothing actually told me how to look at these. They just show like a down thing on them, which just tells me I can interact on it, but it just means there's just this tiniest amount of friction while I'm just like sort of mashing on the controller, being like, what makes me do this? Oh, hello. One thing you might want to consider, it's a bit early for me to say this, but like, is actually locking some of the buttons like that until you've like told the player to use them, or until they've run into somewhere where they need to use them. Well, I mean, admittedly, you needed to use that right away, which is why I said it was a bit early for me to say that. Can I get out of here? Or do we need to dash over this? Okay. Attack what? So yeah, a very, very minor thing here, but like, everything I'm saying is so far has been really minor, to be honest. But like this, being there, like, I'm probably gonna go read it, obviously. Like, there's a signpost there, let's just read this or whatever. But there's just a slight inelegance of it being out of the way of, like, the enemy. It's not realistically going to pose a problem, but it's just a slight inelegance of just like, oh, this is down here and it tells me to attack. Okay, bear that in mind. I might have even forgotten by the time I come up here. It's super trivial, and it's more of an elegance thing than a serious thing, but like... I'd argue with these kind of things as well, you almost like that could just come up on the screen as I'm going up here. Ooh. Oh, I remember something about this. That's what it was zooming, okay. That's the first thing I've seen on this where I'm like, oh, I remember. Yeah. The level design is very different from what I remember. In a good way. Ah! No! Gotta be careful with platformers and verticality for exactly this kind of reason. With pause. I don't have a pause button. Play what song? The one he's playing? God, I've got to like learn that. Is that it? So a couple of things here, like, is everything that's interactable in your game interactive with the X button, like that has this little arrow above it? Is there a reason you don't just flash that little face button thing above them instead? So it would just like instantly remind you, like, they also just look a little out of place to the character, but that's okay. Also, is he telling me, like, oh God, I did it again, man. Is he telling me, like, the song I need to play? Is that those, because those notes match up to the notes that get made when I do a thing. And the sign to tell me about playing notes to do a thing. Like, it's fine introducing that first and being like, I don't know what to do with this, and then, like, it's just a mysterious, fun thing. And then we find out later, like, oh, okay, there's a tune you play. Me is no bad. Do I have to be, like, low life or something for it to work, though? Like, it's because he said to do it when I'm at low life or whatever, but, like, I'm not going to remember this tune by then, so I need to learn it now. Oh, there it is. I hope this is... Oh, did that just use up a precious resource? So... But a resource, nonetheless, right? So that on its own was already making me hesitant to want to use it, because I think he said, like, oh, I'll give you some of these things, play this song to use it, and I'm like, I want to learn what to do, so I know how to use it. But, like, I don't want to use this thing right away, and there's just a lot of awkward friction there in the learning of this stuff. It's not immediately clear, like, it doesn't have to be super clear, that can be part of it, like learning, like, oh, he's showing the notes in front of him, maybe that's something cool. But I think when it comes to just a tutorial of teaching you how to use a basic power that you're going to want to use throughout the game a bunch, maybe he should have just included those notes in his text bubble, or better yet, just even included the something, because I've got to learn which buttons correspond to those notes as well. There's kind of a whole lot of work I have to do to actually develop that power. Yeah, or maybe like when he plays it, the notes could at least sound. But I think with this kind of thing, since it's like a power you kind of want me to have that'll like heal me or whatever, and spend a resource, that seems fairly important. You probably want to give... You kind of want me to have to do it, or have him show me how to do it and be like, repeat after me, and then he'll play the song. And then I can try and play the song myself, and maybe if I screw it up, he goes, no, not like that, like this, and maybe he does it again, and then we do it. And then he's like, yeah, that's right. That was just a test though, so here, have another one of those items, so that, you know, we're not, you haven't just used up your thing. Again, I don't like giving really specific, like, here's how you do it advice like that, but like, it's sometimes the best way I have to get across what I mean, because you realize, like, oh, why that would be better, and I'm not always good with words. So, so you don't have to do it like that, but hopefully that gets across what I mean by, like, what is here, and why it's, like, a bit messy on a few levels. These things are like flashy and they look like they do something, but they don't seem to do anything. I like the control, the character feels nice. Like, it's a floaty jump, but it's like, it feels good. Can I get around here though? It looks like it's going to be a one-way platform, but we can't go through there. So it's not entirely clear what has white outlined and what doesn't, and why. Also, yeah, like, some of this art, I think someone said earlier, but like, the character is a very different style to like that enemy. Oh yeah, we can do this, come on. Might be. Like, the character style would fit something I could put in like Pokepoke or whatever, you know? But some of these enemies are much more like highly detailed. And some of the background pieces and stuff as well. I could live with the contrast between the character stuff and the background stuff if all of the characters kind of looked like that. Oh no, what have I done? I feel like I remember this bit of level design a bit more. I think it's coming back to me a little. Careful with verticality, like this much verticality, it's like, because, can we even get through that? Because of moments like that where you just fall a really long way, end up, you're disoriented about where you are. I feel like I did this last time, by the way. I think I'm focusing on some negatives and stuff because they're jumping out at me, but there's a lot of really nice stuff here. Like, this attack feels really nice, the controls are really good. It's hard for me to say because I don't remember from last time, but this feels a lot better paced than I remember it feeling before. That was some serious controller vibration we had going on there. But it's like a level of tubes. Just vertical tubes, and if you fall, you're just at a completely different area of the level now. And you're like, oh man, do I want to go back and get what I missed? But also there's like 4 more branching paths. The very early level design felt a lot better than what I remember. Oh god. Yeah, these enemies like don't map at all. The green ones. What are these, by the way? Did we discover anything about these? I like all the animation. But yeah, it's like not super consistent. I kind of dig that as a mechanic, like a little Ocarina of Tiny mechanic. But with like more meaningful gameplay stuff. I assume most of the game is going to be about finding more magical songs that do different things, right? Oh, it's just so much falling! So much long vertical. This is a great tip for beginner, like, level designers when it comes to platform games. Just don't go up or down. Left, right, good. Up, down, hard, bad. Not bad, but hard. which is like tricky because you've like it's like, oh, it's like a forest level and there's loads of big thick tree trunks, and that's just like funneled you into doing like really heavily vertical level design. But I'm gonna bust out the advanced level design tool in a second, and we're gonna talk some stuff. Yeah, right. An entire game was made off the premise that verticality and long falls in platform games feel horrible. An entire game was built off of that very premise. It's called Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. It took something that we all hate about platform level design and turned it into a game that actually works. Which is impressive, but not for the faint of heart or for when your game isn't trying to explicitly do that specific thing. I don't... Jump King. Is that game we played on here? It's like an ice cavern and a little bunch of jumping and stuff. But yeah, you can do that, but that when you do that, it really has to be the whole game and be what the player is there for. If the player is there for literally anything else, they're going to be annoyed when the verticality and stuff just takes them away from that and takes them to this other horrible place of frustration, right? So vertical. Oh, these enemies are really hard to deal with. Like that arc is like, because you can only attack at a big horizontal thing, it's very hard to both approach them and also get yourself into a space where you can hit them and get out and be safe. They're pretty mean. That's not necessarily bad. That's not necessarily a criticism, by the way, just an observation of them being how they be. So I'm very greedy and keep getting myself killed. This one's a little better because you can get down here. Like that's sort of like the ideal positioning for fighting one of them, right? Yeah, like one-way platforms can help. Yeah, I mean, as I say, like it's not a rule that you shouldn't do verticality in platform level design. It's just that it's hard and comes with a lot of considerations to make not frustrating and harsh. Like, oh, there's so many other little platforms up there. So my experience, I think the screen sums it up to a degree, but like, let's bust out the tool. The most advanced tool in a level designer's toolkit, MS Paint. Let's draw what my brain currently feels about this level. Like it feels like this. And there might be a whole nother thing down here. So like I feel like no matter where I go, what I try to do, if I miss a jump I fall super far and I feel like I'm constantly missing something. I'm like, oh man, there was like 12 other branching paths back that way and I've just fallen down and I've missed both of them. I can't explore there, I can't explore there. Do I want to go back? Maybe there's something cool. But now down here, all the way down here, there's 2 more ways. I guess we just keep going this way. I don't know how to get back to where I am, and I can't visually build up a picture of the level because it all looks like this. Just big vertical lines. And I'm just sort of getting lost in noise. Well, that's a big issue. I think I had this issue with it last time as well. And dash more. Dash sends me sideways! But yes, I mean you're right. I'm just also just not very good at it. But like, besides the like you can almost, can you make it there? Why does it? You almost can. There will be a player who was sat here, like, if you had a whole bunch of playtesters, there would have been one who sat there hours thinking, like, there must be a way. And, like, I feel like I'm missing something up there. I feel like I'm missing something out here that goes up here. There's a route that goes up that way. There's whatever's behind this. Like, that's one screen of, like, so many options. I don't know what those are. We fall down, there's stuff this way, it says back up where we were. I don't even know, that's a pit. I think you would benefit a lot from just linearity and some left to rightness. Yeah, a lot, actually. What's the map say? Oh. Oh yeah, I remember this. That's just like a map of... I feel like I need one of those big Metroidvania cell maps for just this like one platform level. The intro segment was good though. I want to go back to that. Let me start again. Where? Boy. The whole inventory as well. Maybe we've got a few many things going on, but leave that for another day. Blocked off the left. Let's go right. See what we can find. Still a lot of space above me. Yeah, like I hate areas like that, man. You see this above me? Like why, like, is there a reason I would want to come down from whatever that platform is to down here? Oh my god, it's like... Like, all this stuff when, yeah, obviously I'm not reading the signpost this time, but yeah. And this is all fine. Like, the path of it is fine. But, like, there is no reason, like, I don't know, it's not exactly hard jumps, but, like, I'm never gonna want that, am I? So, the ability to fall down there is just a punishment. I'm intentionally getting held up on this one segment because it's the first area of the game and it's really, really important. Like, it's so important. It doesn't matter. If the rest of the game isn't like this, then that just makes this, like, even more of a problem. Because I'm not going to get there. Yeah. And neither will anyone else who doesn't gel with the design. Say anyone else. Some people will, but like... Oh my god, what's all this? There's a whole area up here! What's all that? Oh, we fall all the way down there. Did I go this way before? Oh my god, it looked like platform, but it was not platform. It's another slight issue with the green, like the solid green palette. Sometimes it can do that kind of thing, but it wasn't that bad. It really does look like a platform. Some of these are collidable and some of them aren't as well, like from below. Right, not platform, platform. There's a spike everywhere. I want to see what's up there. Yeah, so I know I'm not like I don't want to sound broken recordy again by just going on and on and on about this segment, but it is really important that you understand the issue with it, because if it makes people feel overwhelmed, like I don't really know where I'm meant to. Like I have a map, but it doesn't bear any relation to the context of this, just that I'm in a forest. I think maybe someone said we need to go to the right or whatever. I don't know. I might be just making that up. Oh, there's a big pit down there. Do I want to jump down there? What's down there? I don't know. Probably not. Dropping has been not great so far. Where does this take me? Somewhere else now? Is this like just a mapless Metroidvania map? Can we make that? Black character looks great. Everything looks great. I don't know that it all looks great together, because as I say, it just doesn't always match. Like, look at the detail on those dogs in comparison to the character. I like the attack animation and stuff as well. Like a big space in front of him that he just hits. Very Hollow Knight-y. Rotation looks a little odd, but it's okay. Like, where am I now? I've got 2 more directions I can go here. Like, the number of forks in this road has been crazy. Part of this is me as well. Like, well, I mean, a lot of this is, you know, everything I say should be taken from a thing that it's like my lens, right? You might be thinking, well, I enjoy that kind of thing, and fair enough. But like, I get so easily overwhelmed with like multiple paths and stuff, and especially in things like platformers. It's like I want to see all this stuff. I want to go over there and see all that kind of thing. What's around this corner? I want to know what we're doing, where everything is. And I hate feeling like I'm missing stuff. You know? And every corner I turn in this game makes me feel like I'm missing something down a different corner. Because I'm like, okay, I'll remember that and come back there. But then, like, there's like 12 more branches after that. I can only hold so much in my brain. This is a whole another area. We're still doing super vertical. It's weird that it is so vertical as well, given you've got like your main mechanic that you've introduced so far is a long horizontal dash. Oh my god, they're really hard. Surrender. There's loads I love about that. I love the sound design as well. The limited palette is working, I think. It's difficult, and you've not been super consistent in places, but the resolution was largely consistent and it was good. Well, I mean, that should, like, it should be a sign, right? If it feels that big despite there only being like 4 rooms. To me, I don't remember exactly, but I feel like the attacking felt better than it did before. I don't know 100% what else is, but like the very early level design where it's just like signpost after signpost is the best because it's the most linear. Yeah, it felt like it was a lot different. And I think because like I think the visual design of it like compounded it a little because it was like a green jungle and it was all like really noisy and messy because that's how jungles be, right? There's like foliage and vines and stuff everywhere. but I felt so lost. And and if I would fail a jump because I'm an idiot and bad at games, like I then end up in a position where I don't know how to get back to where I was. So all the things I've been keeping in my memory of like, okay, go around there, go around there, are now useless because I can't get back there. Now I've got to reevaluate going forwards, and there's about another 3 directions I can go, and it's not clear if it's a pit or if it's gonna die or if, sorry, I do apologize for going on and on and on about it and feel like I'm just saying the same thing over and over. But like, it's such a big deal. It's so important. Um, Level design is hard, and restraint is what restraint is. It's the word of the day for me in level design, I think, and design in general. You gotta have a bit of restraint. I know you want to have cool areas everywhere with loads of cool stuff around every corner, but just keep it a little bit linear for a while. And then it makes it more meaningful when you have those moments when it's like a little branch and oh, there's something cool up here. Oh, did you know if you go this way, there's a little thing. There's less is more. Maybe it is just me because that is definitely a big thing for me in platformers. I think of just like I get really overwhelmed with directions. Um, but I think when I'm that overwhelmed by something, I feel like if I'm that overwhelmed, I think a lot of other people are going to feel similarly. Thank you. It was cool. Like I said, I do like I'm reaching into the corners of my memory for what it was like last time, but it does feel a lot improved over what I remember. Yeah, it's there as well. Like yeah, so like I hammer home on the things that are otherwise great when there's just this one big thing that's just standing in the way, which can then look weird because everyone's like, "But the game looks really beautiful and pretty. It looks really good. Why is he getting so mad about this game?" It's because it looks so nice and it is quite cool, but it's got this big painful thing in the way. Thank you, Jeff Blankenberg, for the rating party of 6. Welcome to the stream where I just ramble incoherently about other people's hard work, um, in lieu of doing any hard work of my own. So let's get Space Bugs. I know what it's like, by the way, as well, to have your game critiqued on a thing like this. Um, I remember I was just told about it. Like, what's his name? The guy who does extra credits. I don't know if he's even still with them or whatever. Because I don't know, a bunch of dodgy stuff came out about him, as happens often. James Port. Yeah, like he was doing live streams where he was playing like just new games on Steam. He played Another Perspective actually, and someone just told me that it was on stream. So like I just tuned in to see what he's saying, and he was like he critiqued a lot of it really harshly in ways that stuck with me for quite a while. Um, but it was both useful um at the time, it's like to have that feedback, but then also I have much later down the line come to realize that some of the things he said were nonsense, and he was wrong. um, and actually I did some things fine. So always bear that in mind that I don't know always know what I'm talking about. So how long is this taking? 189 megabytes. Just because it comes from a place that feels for some reason authoritative, or is sounds elegant or uses clever words, doesn't mean I'm actually right about anything. Games design is very hard. And it's hard to... Oh, failed? Network error? Not dropping any frames or anything, am I? No, no. Game Jolt! Give me the game. I want to play Space Bugs. Let's try it again. It's definitely my least favorite, I think, of the various game hosts. But hey, it was something. It was something at the at a time we didn't have much else back when it first showed up. Okay, this is really struggling to get beyond 101 megabytes. Do you have any alternate download links for this? Perchance? Let's come back. Refresh this page, hit download. Take me to the download. It's not even like a click this if it doesn't work button like there usually is. One more time. Yeah, if it doesn't work this time, I would say quickly upload it somewhere else, like Dropbox or whatever, and we'll come to it after the next game. Yeah, it's jamming a little bit earlier this time at 91. It really doesn't want to get that last half of the game. Alright, you upload to itch. We'll leave that one on the form. We'll go to the next one, and then we'll come back. Seedsandtwigs.itch.io Hungry Island. That's not a link to the game though, it's just a link to... Oh, okay. Apparently it is. I thought this was just going to link to your profile. What was your name? Seeds and Twigs. Have you changed the name? Seeds and Twigs. Oh no, it's Seeds and Twigs Hungry Island. I don't know. An independent RPG game dev project led by me, RJ Silver. Hi, as a 20-year-old fan of RPGs, FF7 for life. I've always hoped of creating my own universe for people to conquer. I found that with S&T, it's sort of my own take on pseudo Game Boy RPG classics. I create game assets. Okay, okay. Oh, this is your profile. I was like, it looked like the page of the game. Yeah, it did not work out. And still, it's a small game for the jam. My first game ever finished. Okay. Small game for the jam, but then the other page said it was like an RPG. Oh no, that's Seeds and Twigs. That's a different thing. Oh, is that like your brand? Oh no, I'm getting myself confused. Jam game, Hungry Island. Living in a lifeline can be tough, food is scarce, but a strong current has brought a ripe seedling bounty right to your island. Shoot down and cultivate some of the yummiest seeds to keep you satisfied. Keep an eye out though, as you're not the only hungry one around, collecting enough food to get you through the season. It's a full screen 1080p experience, but prepared to dive in, okay? Practice. Feasting time has come. Use a spacebar to shoot the right seedlings floating by. 2 tries. Would move left and right. Huh? What happened then? Oh, we don't... How do I deal with that? Oh, okay. More stuff is coming on the screen. Oh, Barry, when you see one coming away, or regret it. Avoid the edge. Okay. So this is good. This is all the info I need. But like, it's you see how it all came together there in a bit of a rough and tumble sort of way, where I had to like die to a thing and then be like, whoa, how did that happen? And a new box had appeared somewhere on the screen, and it's like another one over here now, just sort of on my periphery, slowly fading in. Oh my god, that's still coming. You want to do something? It might work better if it was a little bit more controlled. Does this? No, okay, it felt like that hit me last time, but it didn't. And like one thing happens at a time. This is a good. It's a good way to do it, having a thing where you can practice and then bring the information in one bit at a time. But it should be one bit at a time. So like, you could have a seed just come on. We deal with the seed, and then it waits until I've done that before progressing on and showing other stuff in the level. And then be like, oh, here's an enemy dude. Don't run into the enemy dude, like at that same time. And so I can... That makes sense. You can also hit swimmer seeds with your shots, but be careful, spikes can hurt you. Don't be tempted by rotten seedlings. Why would you shoot them above then if they just drop spikes? Oh, I suppose maybe you don't want to. It's just a thing that can accidentally happen. So that's just bad, right? And then... Try to collect a bunch of different color seedlings so you can gorge during the slow season. Oh man, they take multiple hits? I wonder why I meant by different color, because I'm like, they're all yellow! Okay. Took a little bit of wrestling around here to get the idea of everything, because you've got actual threats coming towards you while you're trying to read things, but it is pretty simple. Click here when you're ready to go. Okay, I was wondering how do I get out of the screen, so I had to look all over the screen to work. Like, what do I do? Oh no, we didn't really want to do that. Oh. F. Do I have any real control over the colors that drop, or is that just sort of random? It's nice visual variety, but... Does that just perma make things harder as well every time I shoot one of them down? And sometimes we shoot down just a little... mean spike. That's still there as well. I can see the glow behind that thing. I like the visual style. Things are a little bit stretched. Like, I think it probably could have been... Like, the vector art might have been good as vector art. Like, but that's tricky to do with Game Maker until you know how. Man, these bars are not filling up quick. Like, so I can just not walk that way forever? Oh, do those, like, give me extra lives if I get those? They look a bit like me. Everything just suddenly speeds up. Oh, you can shoot them down and they turn into thingies. Don't know if that was in the text or not. Maybe it was. It's quite a tricky amount of leading you have to do. Especially because the speed keeps changing. It's not necessarily bad. Nah. Nah. Some warning about when it was going to speed up my Oh. Colors? Okay. Man, that's a big deal to shoot those down, because you just... It's quite the punishment to just get like a permanent... Oh, it does go away eventually. Oh sure, I don't kill the thing, but like one hit knocks those things down. Game over. Is it like level based? Do I win if I just get like all the colors filled up? Can I do anything now? It's a good little jam game though. This like the art is there. It's all very functional. That alone is great for a jam. It's really hard because you don't have much space to like actually, and then it's just like, oh no, they're sped up now. There's just no way you can get ahead in time because I just don't move fast enough. Like I'm a lot preemptively in a position. I mean, I get it's just the nature of how you got the progression, but there's something, and I don't know how you necessarily easily fix, but like, a bit unsatisfying just how slowly all the different colors fill up. Did the other colors need to be a thing? Maybe you were thinking that there was some other mechanic you were going to put in with the different colors of stuff, or some way you can manipulate what colors fall, but like, I don't make any decisions with regards to the colors, right? I just grab whatever I can get. So I'm not saying don't have different colored things, because like different colored things look pretty, but did they need to add that there need to be a mechanic, you know? Does that make sense? Feeling enemy head seems to be kind of a surprise. I mean, it felt kind of important, I'm not gonna lie. It's something you can work out through gameplay for sure, but like the punishment is so severe. Maybe if they just didn't hang out for as long. Completed one color, you wouldn't have to worry about not picking up one. The thing is, I see so few fruit, and maybe this is just me being bad at the game or whatever, I don't know. But like I'm never going to be turning anything down. And if anything, it's just going to make it frustrating to see a color that I no longer need of the like 2 per minute I seem to get. The variety is fine, like you can still have them be colored. I just think like the mechanic itself doesn't add any value. Because it's like, okay, I need to get purple ones. How do I get purple ones? I'll just hope you get purple ones. What you could do is things like... I've got the suggestion, I'll make it anyway. What you could do, I guess, with the colours, if you wanted to just add some fun variety in there, not really making a mechanic, or as much of a mechanic as it is like, have a little basket in the corner, and when you get a fruit, it actually appears up there. And then when you get a whole bunch of them that are different colors, they appear as a little bunch of things. So you get like a very organic looking, like, pile of fruit, right? I got hit by something white when respawning. Yeah, obviously that can be an issue too. It's a tricky one with just the way your things work. I didn't notice that. So like, what? How does the respawning work? Oh yeah, that's pretty rough. I didn't really think about that, but yeah, that's a pretty big deal. That's the sort of thing you kind of discover through playtesting, right? Which is something that's can be limited in a jam as well. Yeah, that's not ideal. You can do that. You can give the player a bit of invincibility time or something on respawn is the cheapest way to deal with that sort of thing. But there's a million and one solutions. The biggest part of the solution is realizing that it's the problem in the first place. I won't worry. I won't beat yourself too much up about that. It's just a thing you'll just notice through playtesting. That like, oh, that felt bad. It'll stand out to you. Like, it's not even the sort of thing you even need other people to play test it for. You'll notice that that's kind of lame. Yeah, you can, but you like appear like right on top of it. I think sometimes there's very little you can do. There'll be points of no return. It'll be kind of rare, and that's the thing. You have to play test quite a lot for it to actually see those kind of things sometimes. It's like it was quite lucky that it had to sort of line up exactly to demonstrate the problem then. Yeah, yeah. Obviously, it can. Yeah, I can tell from the way it works. It can happen. As I said, you just learn that by playtesting it a lot, and it's to be expected of a jam thing, that kind of problem to exist. Um, yeah, I like it though for a jam thing. Like it's a simple mechanic, it's easy, you know. I think the tutorials are like you had the right, like you had some really good ideas with the way you were doing the tutorial and putting you in an environment where you can test the things out and so on. But you kind of just threw you into what was basically the game, but without points, and just slowly phased things onto the screen. Which is hard because I'm like playing with the stuff and also the stuff coming on the screen. If you think about how that tower defense thing did it, where it was just like, here's three things, here's what you do the thing, okay, move on to the next thing, and show you one thing at a time. Um, so totally lost my train of thought. So there's room for improvement there and on the tutorial, but the idea is right. Yeah, right. The idea is good, you know, like. The art style is nice as well. It's a bit weird when it scales because it's like thick black line vector art, and you start to see the aliased edges of it when it like scales up because it's not actual vector art. That's the thing to look into if you're a big fan of this art style, is trying to get your vectors to render with the screen size, because that's the strength of them, is that they can be any size and still look smooth. Um, it basically just means not hard baking them into sprites. It's a little tricky, but if you are really getting invested in this kind of art style for maybe other things you develop, well worth looking into how to do that kind of thing. Yeah, perfectly understandable that you do that for this jam or whatever. Just advice. Um, yeah, no, I think it'll help the aesthetic of your games a lot. But it's good. It's good things. It's a simple game loop. It all kind of works. There's little refinements here or there. I don't think the color mechanic really added anything, but like, it's good. I like it. Thank you very much, Seeds and Twigs. Do we have that other game? Do we have Spacebugs? Misfire Dev. We got a new link. Feel free to just stick it in the chat. There we go. Spacebugs the game. When is Spacebugs the movie and the novel? There's a dark top-down action. I like this guy. Look at this guy. Looks dope. Some high resolution artwork areas in here. Hand drawn stuff? Okay. I like it. Minor, but off the bat here, it's hard to tell because I can't full screen it. But the text gets very dark at the bottom with the gradient you got going on, and it's on a black background. Which just sort of makes it like fade out a little bit. What row? Full screen, OBS, yeah. Thank you. Music by this person, sound effects by that website. Options. Shift or space to dodge, E to interact. Okay. The disappear is a little jarring, but I like kind of the shake on the way back in. During the in-between low point, I have a question. If I were to in future stream submit one of my Game Breakers Toolkit jam games, would that be appropriate? I think the worst party game possible? Probably not. I mean, unless... I don't know. Because I feel like I would have to then give feedback in how to make it worse. I don't know. Depends what mood I'm in. Whilst to move around. This guy looks cool. Lighting effects are nice. Is it all? I feel like I'm noticing stuff that's been more digitally drawn and other stuff that's all very hand drawn. Or if it's possible that it's all been hand drawn and some stuff is just using a lot more straight edges. And it's just like a slightly different style. Wait, what did I just learn? I was too busy thinking about the art style. We did a thing that shot a thing. Oh no, I'm gonna forget. And it did tell me. Shift does a dash. And I collect things and I can do a big thing that I'm probably wasting. Okay, well, I already know that, so let's just not waste that. Can I just dash into these? I can't dash over here? Is this your way of forcing me to learn the... Oh no, just dash just takes up some... Got like a stamina gauge, okay. Did it tell me that? I need to be paying more attention. I was too busy looking at the art and that. Man, why do I have a stamina bar? Stamina bars are lame. Sean's take of the day. Stamina bars lame. Nah, but like... I don't know, maybe it's too early to tell with this one. I know I've come all the way back where I came, but I just kind of wanted to get all the gubbins. No, that's like where we started. We'll come like around. Got myself a bit lost here. Welcome to Arc Base Status Critical. What's this? Ooh. Ooh. Oh, it's like I'm about to run out of ammo on it, but do I have infinite? Does it just reload? It does, okay. Oh. I think that like they fuzzle if you get near them. Pixel art is waning? What do you mean by that? Oh, I didn't read that. God damn it. I think some of your messages like disappear on a timer, and this is like an exacerbated problem with me doing the stream because I'll often stop or think or look away or the chat or something like that. But it can be an issue. Like, yeah, do you mean do I think it's like going out of style? Not really. Players are getting tired. Some people will, sure. People get tired of everything they play a lot of, but I don't think it's even fair to say that players are tired of zombie games, despite by all logic they should be. Some certainly are. I don't think people like usually when people get tired of quote unquote of things like that, it's because they're not getting what they think what they actually really want out of that thing. Like people are sick of pixel art, probably been disappointed by a bunch of pixel art games that like aren't actually coating them in the nostalgia blanket they were expecting or something. I don't know, like they're looking at, oh, that looks like games I used to play, and like, but they're not actually like that, or whatever. Zombie games are a similar thing, where it's just like, oh, that like it provokes like it. Everyone's like, oh, there's so many zombie games, but no good ones, and it's like no one's ever made the one true zombie game that they want to play. So that's what makes them kind of get quote unquote sick of them, because they've just been disappointed by them so much. But I don't think it's that useful of a thing, like, are people sick of XYZ? games. Because there are tropes that like go on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever that no one ever seems to get sick of. Outside of like media critics and that. I have no idea what's going on now, by the way. I've just sort of turned into bullet shooter mode and I've just started running around shooting things while talking about pixel art. I'm really digging this art style. I think you got to be careful to remain consistent. Even it's not just for pixel art, you know? Even here the resolution has been a little bit off in places, and I know some of that will be just with zooming and so on, but like you can just see some of the things are just a bit more blurred than others. Because they've just been like scaled up just a bit too much or scaled down just a bit too much. You can see other things with like a lot of straight edges feel like they were designed maybe digitally, like in Photoshop or something like that. Whereas the others are clearly like a lot more hand-drawn. Alright, well, actually, yeah, these could have been still done with all that brush tool and stuff like that, right? So maybe it was done that way. But there's a bit of an off-putting distinction with some of the things that are like very straight. Like, look at this UI. Go away, you. I need to zoom in on something. Like this UI versus like this style, right? And it's just like it's all right. It's mostly coherent. It's just like it's on the edge. You just gotta you've mostly done pretty well here. I just saying be careful with it. See the blur sometimes, right? Can we read what's actually going on? User ID N. I haven't been using the dash. Or the other thing. Just kind of been running away and hitting things. Really, I really dig the style though. A lot of work. I've not been reading enough of this, and that's my own stupid fault. Ugh. Not sure what gave me that, but that was cool. The screen shaking is nice. It's like not over the top. Ah, it's all good stuff! Like this, the way this opened up was setting me up for a more linear thing, and now I feel like I've stumbled into like a Geometry Wars type of like arena thing. Continue. Is there somewhere to go specifically, or is like you just have to like kill everything? Like, am I doing this right? Yeah, I asked an or question. With mutually exclusive answers. Okay. Now I got me. That's so many things! Keep going right in a straight line. Okay. We'll do our best. I like being a cool, weird spider robot. The weird, massive eyes. Like, yeah, the shield feels just like a little bit off style as well. It's like, it's just really rides the line with some of this stuff. Oh my god, there's so much! There's so much! Why are there so many things? Forgetting something? There's two there. It's like, there's your warm up, there's two guys. Now, here is everything. What do I do? I'm probably just rushing it. Oh, does the dash not hurt them? Like it breaks boxes, but doesn't... Yeah, okay. I think that confused me because like it smashes boxes to bits to dash into them. I know you might be thinking, well, in lots of games you do like a roll and that breaks boxes but doesn't hurt things, but like, because I'm a giant metal spider, like, it looked like that was some sort of offensive ability, especially since I got it and was using it to break things before I had an offensive ability. You kind of sunk that in as like, this is your basic way to damage things in the world. I kind of imagine if the first thing Dark Souls taught you was like, roll into this box to break it. Like, you'd take that first lesson, maybe assume that you can damage things with the roll. It's not the fact that you can't do it that's the problem. I think it's like the way it's introduced. So it has stamina as well. Does it even have any iframes or anything? It's just... Is there a reason why we... Like, it doesn't... If it's so unuseful for combat as it seems to be, why does it sit on a stamina bar? Is that where they're coming from? Oh my god, there's so much... I tried. I surrender. It's good. It's good, but that's hard. That is harsh. But when ranged enemies turn on. I think maybe allow it. I don't know. I don't want... No, I'm gonna not do it. We're not gonna give any specific advice. But the feeling that I had playing that was that, like, I expected the dodge to be more useful in the fight than it was, and the fact that it wasn't useful in a fight, and the fact that it was tied to the stamina gauge made me think, like, well, what's the point of this? Yeah, sure, there's maybe other things later on where it becomes a little more useful, but it's like, it's the first ability I get in the game, and it's like tied to a stamina bar and so on. I'm gonna try and use it. But yeah, that scales up aggressively fast. I don't think it's too bad. I think I was rushing it a bit, and maybe I'd have been okay if I tried to take it a bit more slowly, and I still got my ass kicked. But maybe I just suck. But the general feel and stuff of it is nice. I say, like, the dash stuff's a little disappointing, but generally, like, I like the feel of it and everything. It was just a little hard to tell when I had the... Is that what the blasty thing was? Or what was powering it? It was just like, I just like smash traits and you'll get general gubbins, you know, you'll get some health and power for your thing and so on. But it all just felt a bit like, if I just smash enough crates, I've maybe got it now. Like, I wasn't, I don't know, feeling the connection as such. Maybe that's to do with the feedback of collecting things, which there was some there. I could feel like the ding and stuff when I was grabbing stuff. But I was just felt like I was grabbing stuff, you know? Like, it wasn't clear what I was getting. Even the power-ups, like, some of them were all like, oh, this gave me a big shield. And some of them, it took me firing to realize, oh, this gave me a three-way shot, you know? It's just like, I think those things could, like, benefit from just, like, a little bit more feedback on them. And as I said, be careful with the art style. I like it a lot. But lean into it really hard, you know? Like, and try and keep it, like, consistently sized. It's not just pixels that can be of inconsistent sizes and resolution. Especially with, because I feel like you maybe put a bit of random scaling or whatever on these, but maybe you haven't, but it felt like you, like, a bit of random scaling on some of these, so some are smaller and bigger than others. But be careful because that's gonna blur your art and do weird, nasty things to it. Try and keep it the same. Like it's not like it's artistically like some of it you could argue the like it's like really like nestily drawn or whatever, but it actually works really well as a style. So you'd be amazed what just works if you just keep it really coherent and consistent. You could argue the background's a little inconsistently out, but I think that's the one you usually get away with because you can just make the gameplay elements look one way, the background look another, and it kind of they slot together okay if they're like reasonably complementary of each other. So I wouldn't worry about that. It was cool. Really hard. Bit too hard for me. It was good. Three more. Gosh, and it's like 10 back. Like, this is a Feedback Friday classic, this, where we just take forever. Blaster Bunny Chronicles 1.3. Sorry to whoever's last. Fire NM. We're gonna get there. Oh, I'm tired, man. Maybe I should make sure to only do these streams on days where I have a lot of energy. I think it hurts my brain trying to like articulate intelligent things about games like one after the other in quick succession. I'm glad it was hope. Like I hope for some people, like the things I say, like because I say you do always have to take it from my lens, and obviously I try and give my experience as a game designer wherever I can. But sometimes I'm going to tell you how I feel, and um, it's perfectly valid. Like if I say like, oh, maybe it should go like this or whatever. Like, that's why I try to avoid specific suggestions as well, because like there might be 101 reasons for the game design in your head where you're like, nah, and that's fine. You're allowed to take my advice and be like, nah, he's wrong. No, I don't want to do it like this. But I hope that's why I hope try and give feelings that you can instead take away and be like, how do I make him feel better about these things? Or how do I make players feel better, not just me? Not the most. Just one person playing the game. What I'm saying is, it's my job to give you problems, not solutions. I mean, there might have been more criticism I might have had of some of the way things were introduced, but enough of it was my own stupid fault of not reading things in time. The other thing was, the messages that were coming up were disappearing for an amount of time, or it felt like I could easily accidentally make them go away and there was no way to get them back, so I could miss critical information. There might have been critical information I missed. So that was the other thing. But no, it was good. What is this? This is one of the keys that uses Z as its button, like, that actually tells me that Z is its button. Vertical sync as an option. Question mark. I want to do that. It's locked. No idea what any of this is. I have no context for what a magic carrot is, but it's yes on this. Special keys, yes. Original experience, extreme challenge. Oh, totally different style. Gonna Bunny. And the evil millionaire bunny. Bunnies be eating the rich. Since then, the world lived in peace and harmony, like in a constant breeze of prosperity. A breeze of prosperity. Peace in a world where magic exists must end sometime. Gosh. Can't have magic. Magic means war. So this is a lot, but it's okay. It's simple, clear, big pictures. And I feel like I don't need to know all these things immediately. Is kill all the holders of the blaster power, starting a whole war with an army of robots. Just... okay. The blaster power makes the person able to grab objects from... Alright. Different style again. I find it rough to go from that, like, kind of like that drawn style. Like, both styles are good. They're fine. Like, go from the other like this is tricky, and like size of these pixels, size of these pixels. Ah! We've said it all already. I'm not going to go over it all again. I feel like I have to every time. I feel like I have to explain it every time because I think people still think I'm saying that it's just like a generic universal. It's about cohesion. Good Bunny, hey, Imitator Bunny, I will stay in the city protecting the people from those bunnies. So this has quickly tipped over into being too much, and there's been information in here that felt important to gameplay that I've already forgotten. This sounds important. I was blaster power. There was a lot of stuff. Even on the screen. No! No, you didn't! Oh, no, you didn't! See, the problem is that there's now, instead of just being a cute, like, illusion of, like, oh, we're just viewing him through, like, a low-resolution, like, camera lens, and that's why he's all pixely. This bullet comes out, and we go, oh, no, he is actually just that shape. Because things can actually have this much detail. So this gun actually looks like that, like it, like. Oh, zooming in this game is hard. It did it here as well, look, because of the thin outline around it. Even the outline is an inconsistent size. It's important because it's so easily avoided, so easily avoided. It's better, it's always better that the art itself is, like, in itself worse, but consistent. Always better. Always. Unless it's not. But it almost always is. You're falling, press E to do an air jump. Is that just falling double jump rather than double jump per se? Okay, so these like Mega Man stages. Save. Not live in the save. very Mega Man stages, okay? I feel like there is probably where you wanted to use because you've done fancy art or whatever, so like do like a big like drawn thing of him if you're gonna do those separate things. It's Jump and Shoot Bunny. What are you doing, Jump and Shoot Bunny? Well, I'm gonna run to the right and I'm gonna jump and shoot. Little particle effects on bullets exploding. Just little statues. That's close to being a Leap of Faith pit, but it's not. Actually, it would have been fine as a pit, because the camera's not scrolling down. Ignore me. That would have been fine. At least that one was clear, because it had blank eyes. That's kind of... that's cute. So you can't double jump, but you can just do like an infinite buffer jump, basically. Okay. And I got RIP'd. White background on that text is a bit harsh. Man, you know, like the controls in this are really nice. This feels quite good. The shooting is, the flashes and there's good feedback. I like that it's left to right. It's refreshing. Why couldn't you have just made the artwork consistent? This would be great. You get away with this. You're allowed the spinny swords, but even there, it's still the wrong size. Yeah, the fact that there's any death transition is good. Ow! That comes a bit out of nowhere. That is a really good death transition, that's good. I've not looked at it properly yet, but yeah, that's good. Oh no. Good job, Sean. Hot platforming skills on display today. Don't have to write a jump buffer if you can just jump all the time. Smart stuff. Why am I standing in the one place it hits? This is like, oh my god, maybe I need to replay everything today on a different day when I'm less terrible at video games. Maybe I have to take every criticism back, because actually Sean just has giant clams for hands. Why clams? I don't know. That was just the first word that came to mind. Anything that goes in an arc though, man, it screws me. Any projectile that goes in an arc, I cannot deal with. My brain cannot compute the required physics of that. Oh. Nah. Look. Look. Are there any other buttons, by the way? I've not really, like, experimented much with other buttons. Just jump and shoot, man. Oh, that did something, actually. Something happened in the corner, but I think it happened off screen. Well, I've not been taught anything else yet, so let's assume nothing else exists. Was I even told the shoot button, or did I just guess that because Z usually means X or something? I just guessed it. It's gonna put me at the start again, isn't it? God. No, this bunny looks so serious business. I mean, you got places to be. Sometimes I feel like the inconsistent art thing is like people just don't believe in their own artistic ability or whatever, so they're like, well, what's the point in making it all consistent? I don't know. But just do it, man. This art style would work. Just make it fit. Keep that resolution on point. This game would look awesome. I'd go for the smaller one, because then just less detail, less time, etc. It can be trickier to represent some things, but it's probably worth it. Like, it's not just flatly easier, but it averages out as easier. Oh yeah, that's cute, because like you only know how to do that if you have remembered about buffer jumping. That's cool. I quite like that. A little secret bit. That's how you do branching paths and secret bits. You do them sparingly and have them feel cool, memorable, and like just like a thing that was a bit different in the level design. It's good. It's good. It's good. Okay. He's gone. We couldn't really hurt him. God, get anywhere. It was not in the instruction stream, Douglas. Are you looking at these bullets? Oops. Look at this. Have you seen these trees? And these swords. Because it's like, oh, those swords had like sharp edges. Like, why are these made out of giant blocks? Well, it's because it's the pixel art. But no, it's not, because there's a higher resolution thing that proved that things can have sharper edges. Woo! That's cool though. I like this design. This was cool. I don't even know what that carrot did. I probably wasted it. I'm not gonna get any further. I don't know how much of it is I suck and the game is just really hard, but it's hard. But anyway, all the design's okay. It is a bit brutal, but that's not on it. That's not that bad, really. And we could spend ages talking about things or whatever, but art style, make it coherent. It will just level this game up so much. So much. I know I'm banging on about it, but it's like the one thing. It's the one thing. Um, the writing is not great. But that's fine. And that doesn't mean you just can't make a game with narrative in it or whatever. But you want to drip feed it in little bits. Probably dump me straight into that first level, like a lot quicker without all the long intro stuff that followed it, and just give me, I don't know, one bit of that story like at the end of each level or something like that, and just like a couple of text boxes. You don't try and do too much, because one, it's very easy to just overwhelm the player with that sort of stuff. Two, like when you do so much of it at once, you're not going to retain as much of it. And three, not necessarily a fault. English might not be your first language, etc., but the writing skill just wasn't great, and therefore it's not your strength. Therefore, you should lean into your strength, which is the other stuff. But that's not to say you can't do it. Say just show a bit of restraint with it, be sparing with it, and it'll be fine as a result. Like you'll do great. But art style, pick one, stick with it. Maybe limit your color palette a little bit more as well. Like you've got a lot of different colors from all over the spectrum, a lot of different saturation levels, kind of all over the place. But just get that resolution on point first before you do anything else. Get it on point. I promise you, it'll look and feel so much better. So much better. You'll feel like a whole new game developer when you do it. I promise you. Get it done. I don't care how long it takes. Get it done. But good job. Like, simple, sweet. I don't know what the rest is, but like what I played of it, simple, sweet, very, very hard. But that just is, I don't know, maybe like it that way. I'll leave that with you. But yeah, you saw, like, if that looked like it was like too hard, then maybe think about that. I don't know. But it was good. Good old jump and shoot thing is fun. The enemies are cool, interesting. It's good. Don't have anything else to say about that. If you're doing if you're gonna do pixel art that low resolution as well, like they're proper chunky boys, like it stands out. First of all, it stands out loads more when stuff is inconsistent with it. It gets worse the bigger the difference is. And secondly, it makes it hard to gel that with the like really big like detailed drawings you were doing in the cutscenes. But it's maybe taste and preference thing. Get the resolution on point. Do it. Anyway, let's move on. Return from Dust. Darn it. I was about to say, see, look at this, and then I've already spotted it. A corrupting blight has spread across the land, driving its denizens to madness. So, purifying orb to heal the citizens of the kingdom and salvage it from the dust. Made for Global Game Jam 2020. The theme was Repair. It's a good theme. Four-man team from Fractal Diane. Wait, is this the right one? Yeah, Return from Dust. Sorry in advance of the title screen. Why ever would that be? Took me a moment. I was like, "What's wrong with this?" And then I see it. Oh, okay, I can't full screen this. Doesn't appear anyway. People know if people have watched if people have watched a single game being like given feedback on these streams or in the VODs, there is a 70% chance they already know that. So not spam. F4 or F11? Okay. Good. Cool. That means I don't have to make a thing for it. Yeah, you know what I'm gonna say. Heck. That's amazing. This is perfect. This is because you know what I was saying, how it stands out the bigger the difference is. That's about as big as it can get. the style of it's on point as well. That's the thing. The style, like the text and stuff, like matches. It's like the same font, but this is a pixel art version of it. And then, how did this happen? You knew what I was gonna say. So how did this happen? Why did you allow this to happen? The other thing, of course, which is a bit more minor, a bit more of a tricky thing to maybe less obvious than this, is like the anti-aliasing and stuff going on here, like versus the sharp edges of this. They don't mix super well either. I quite actually like the fact that the resolution is clearly higher than the pixel art other than this though, and it's got this really smooth movement to the like snow particles in the background. It's just it just feels nice and doesn't ruin the illusion because the size is like you have to really like the composition of it means it doesn't do the thing I've been talking about, which is ruin the illusion that pixel art creates of like a low resolution lens. Like if I just look at this area of the screen, it looks great. Super sampled the font. I couldn't figure out. Oh, it's a book, right? Is this? I think it's just not meant to look like this. Right. Well, you know the problem. Fix it. Okay. Anyway, it was just for a jam anyway, right? So, we can expect some nonsense. Let's start. We don't really have a whole lot else. Might just be, oh, and it tells me full screen here, cool. Might just be because of the full screen, there's some slight lines and stuff dipping into here and a little bit of blurring or something like that. It's a common thing with full screen. Hard to deal with, don't worry too much. That's cool. Left click, throw. Was this a Godot game as well, it looked like, from the... Slight... Yeah, there's little inconsistencies, but it's like close. There was an effort was made. You know? Use your orb to heal the corrupted. And he looks pretty corrupted. Now he just looks sad. Thank you. I guess. I really liked being all demonic, but fine, thank you. There's a point as well with like the rotation and stuff like that, where and the thing with the pixels, where as long as it's consistently inconsistent, yeah, I'm saying that, it kind of works. Like there's constantly, yeah. It's all about cohesion, and all I'm generally always saying with the Mixel stuff is the quickest way to get it to be cohesive is to make the resolution the same. But if you really do know what you're doing, you can go off resolution and do some interesting things, which there's a little bit of here, which looks nice. It's in there, purify the power. Looks like I should be able to do something to get through there, but probably have to go other ways first. Oh, okay, no, I want to look at something back through there. Oh gosh. Eh. They don't seem fussed about the whole purification thing. Now. Okay, we can like purify. Put my line on. My other light. I've got two giant bright lights shining down on me, so I stay well lit. But so why is this like this? I guess because you made it and it was too small, and it was like, we want it to be bigger. Just scale it up. And you gotta know how big it's gonna be. Draw it for that size. I like these animations and everything. Well, the character animation is very cool. Maybe you can save. That's a tricky one as well. It's so annoying. I hate things like that in game though. Especially when you're doing a jam or whatever. And it's like, okay, the text can actually go off the screen sometimes. We need to write a thing to make sure when it goes off the screen that we bring it back on. Yeah, that is tricky when you have like a bunch of artists and so on. But that's the thing, you gotta have someone's job should be to make sure that everyone's on the same page, and we know how big things need to be, and so on, right? Can be everyone's job as well. Ooh! Oh, I think I accidentally walked through a map here. I don't remember any. Well, I don't remember a lot of things. Oh, that's an interesting little thing of having to run after my one bullet. It's actually, like, even though it's just little arenas and shooting, because it's kind of a novel shooting thing, it's staying interesting. There's been a lot of branches, though, like other places and things I think I could have gone to that I've missed. You know how I feel about branches and my poor, humble brain getting overwhelmed. Do they stay? Yeah, they do at least stay. Okay, and we just gotta get a bunch of them, and then that's gonna be the jam, right? It's only even occurring to me now that the character isn't even consistent with these walls. I'm surprised I didn't notice that earlier. I didn't think something was bothering me about the walls. So I think we missed one when we came down this way. Yeah, there's one more game in the queue, I think. Oh, it was there. Oh, we went to a room where I was like fighting people and accidentally like skipped out of it while I was fighting. But maybe not. Music cut, dramatic, getting darker. Boss man. Oh, and he has his own orb. That's cool. I like that. Oh, you should use it more though. Oh, don't just go bullet hell now. You just did that. It was cool. There we go. Use more of that. It's like a great interweaving of just like the narrative, the mechanics, all in one little moment. I love things like that. Ah, right. Game over. Do I start from the beginning now as well? Is that just a jam? They written in like a... Oh man, that was just it. That was my one chance. Oh well. Got bopped. That was really cool though. You know, the art was simple enough that honestly, like, I don't want to say you get away with the inconsistencies, but it like doesn't take too much away. These fountains probably felt the most egregious of everything, other than obviously the title screen. But the feel was good. I liked just the fighting along with this. Actually, like, it was just one little weird novel twist on a run around shooting things thing of just have to run after the thing and pick it up. That it was interesting. It was just fun to play around with. Good jam idea. Well made all. I like the music. The tone of it was good. Like, I think the colors and stuff. The aesthetic is nice. Just right. Just guys, the pixels, the sizes. Just do it. It's right there. You know, that's the worst part is you know. Yeah, it's very good all around. Like super strong jam game. Project Tabellum Economy, Fire Force 5. My game is in the moment not playable. I have uploaded the whole project files. I have a performance question. I want to clone Victoria 2 from Paradox and build more features that I and my friends are missing. I have the provinces as objects and the calculation need a moment to take. Have you an idea to make the calculation better, the game object, and the step of them? Um, Come again? Isn't this like a huge game? You want to clone this? It's one person? The whole studio is. You know what? I mean, this doesn't appear to actually be a Feedback Friday thing, but I'm too curious. We're gonna look at this anyway. I want to know. I want to dive into what on earth we're looking at here. Quite a challenge. That's one way of putting it. Would you describe flying to Mars by the end of the week as quite a challenge? Oh, you asked if you could submit a technical question with no answer. So this typically isn't the place for that, but what there is for that in future is the Game Maker Surgery, which we have another submission for that I'm going to take a look at some point. The idea is with these, you submit a thing, you submit your project files, and like the particular issue you're struggling with. And I'll post a link in the chat because I don't think I have a way to do it for anyone else. And I go away, I look at it, I try and break down what the hell is going on, what you want to do, and then I make a public video about it. Like I make a video about it where I try and fix whatever's wrong, or I help out, or I give some useful advice, or whatever. And I get content, you get your thing fixed, everyone's a winner. And other people maybe get some insight into it as well, of just like, oh, okay, if I wanted to do something like that, this is what I would do, or like, oh, here's how you can debug this kind of thing, and so on, right? Whole new thing I'm trying. We only made 2 videos of these so far because people don't take me up on it. People like to email me questions all the time, but as soon as it's like, oh, it's going to be in a video, ooh, no. Suddenly nobody has any problems. Everyone's getting on just fine as soon as this came up. But, and I don't tend to do this thing live because it can be very hard to like. I have to spend a bit of time thinking about these sorts of things. But you know what? I'm so curious because I feel like even though this wasn't a thing for feedback, I suspect I might have some feedback. Um, let's bust it open. You're gonna have to explain to me in a bit more detail what your issue is, though, because this was a performance question. What's your performance question? Oh, right. You have the provinces as objects, and something about them takes too long, and you want to know how to do it faster. Step crunching? Okay. Let's just run this, see what happens. In-game FA, so every tick a day pass, you can see the issue. Start. Okay, so we've got something going on here. Press FA, so every tick a day pass. Oh, this looks mad, by the way. What's the issue here? Oh, it's just laggy? So your issue is you've got a ton of things. Well, the whole game is yeah, it's I don't even know how you move the camera. Oh, right, like that. And then when it should look. Okay. Okay. Actually, I mean, like, this is a very ambitious looking game project, but like, I think I might have to think about this, but we might be able to do a video on this. I'll have to take a look at what you're doing. And oh god, it's all in a different language. That might make things a bit difficult. What are they running every step? Yeah, so yeah, yeah, you probably want to do it as like a big data thing. So you'll want to have like either a structure of like DS maps, lists, grids, arrays, and that kind of thing, or maybe a grid because your map appears to be on a grid. That in each one of those grids has like a data map or something, and then that controls all the info that you need, and you just update that in one step event from one object every frame, rather than having a whole bunch of objects. Like each one of these object provinces apparently does something. I don't know. I don't know how it all works. Wait, you got this is like drag and drop, but not. First of all, turn it off of drag and drop mode if you're just going to use code anyway. um, I think you can just change that in the project. I don't know. Turn that off, and then when you make a thing, it's just like just script. That might help. What did you say? What object? Provinces as object in a calculation. Where is the main calculation happening? Can you help me out? What object? 3,600 objects. Yeah, you probably want less than that. Because then they're all rendering like, yeah, they're all like rendering themselves individually as well. Game object step event. Oh, okay, so it like goes through them all. Big switch based on province object. Honestly, a lot. I don't know what all of this data is. But yeah, like one of the first things I would ask about this is like, does all of this need to update every frame? You know, like you only want to update the things that are specifically changing every frame, obviously. But like, there's things you could do where you just don't update it, and then the next time you look at a thing, you could be like, how much should it have changed since last time, and just update it there on the fly. But honestly, working with this amount of data, I don't know, man. I'd have to really think about this. I can't really just give a quick answer off the bat. But yeah, you probably just don't want each one to be its own object, but it's like, what does F8 do? Oh, it just makes it run this every frame. And you need to be able to make it run every frame, you know? I know you want that because you want to be able to speed it up, maybe. But like, if it runs fine, like just that takes a moment. You might just have to live with the fact that that might take a moment. You know, there's probably a bunch of ways you can do it, but I mean, if it's actually important that all of these update everything every single like one of these days that passes, and there's no way you could just like sneakily come back to them later and do things. Yeah, I can see like as it like every time it does one of those, there's just loads, but it's like it's huge, man. Do you need a map this big? Do you need this many provinces? I would just scale the game design down a lot more, honestly. Bland info. It's like updating 3,600 pieces of information with nested information with lots of stuff in it. It's it's hard with these things because I don't have a lot of experience with knowing like like computer performance and what should be optimizable, and like maybe some programmer is watching this now being like, no, that's totally, you can totally make that really easily, but that sounds hard, man. Like, well, I was thinking that, but like if they are all doing things that like are actually updating in like semi-real time, it's a little bit tricky to do. I don't know what all these things are, like populations or whatever. Yeah. Like you could have a command that's like forces an update on something when you need it to, like something is actually happening specifically to a province. But if it's just things that are scaling over time, what you could do is like when you click on a thing, just have it check like when its last update was and perform a number of updates equal to the number of days that have passed, you know, to like get the information from there, and then force that to happen whenever you need to get the information from it for it to be relevant. That's one way you could make something like this work at this sort of scale. It's basically just by not updating. That would come with its own whole host of like gotchas and things, but it is one way of doing it. But honestly, I'd probably just reconsider the game design. Yeah, it's a tricky one. I might do a video on that at some point. You have to leave it with me because that's quite a big. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting though. Massive amount of data. What would be the best way to do it? What would the upper limit on that kind of thing be? It's actually like, yeah, it's not quite what I expected. I'm not sure what I expected, but it's not quite what I expected. And actually quite an interesting little puzzle. So maybe we'll come back to that at some point in the future. I don't know. I'll input, put it in the form, put it on the surgery form. I linked somewhere up in the chat. Send it through again in there, and no promises, but maybe I'll take a look at some point and come up with something that looks comparable, maybe. Yeah, that is interesting. Okay, weird end to the video or the stream, wherever you're watching this. But Dwarf Fortress, yeah, yeah. As I say, I'm sure similar. Yeah, Dwarf Fortress would be a place to look. How do they? How do they Dwarf Fortress? How does Dwarf Fortress work? Good question. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I've never built a game like that. I have to admit, I don't know everything about game development. I don't know how I would do that. There's some ideas, and it's an interesting problem to think about. So maybe I'll go away, do some research, and we'll see where I don't know, maybe we can come up with something. Yeah, people watching this at home, what do you think? Put in the chat. How would you manage something like that? Anyway, thank you all for watching. We've got 52 people here. Maybe I'll try and find someone to raid. But this is bye-bye to everyone on YouTube. You all don't need to see me try and find a raid target or whatever. Bye. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna end it. Bye.